Can everyone hear me? Oh, okay. Okay. This is my first time ever streaming with ZBrush. It's awesome, but at the same time, it's crazy because I got a fever. The worst timing to get sick, but I wanted to jump on and make sure I could block something out because it's my first time and I didn't want to be that guy who just doesn't show up on the first day. Yeah, the sphere's looking good. I'm about to start a dragon, something more kaiju-esque than a regular dragon. I'm gonna try to concept it as I sculpt it. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing in terms of fine details yet. Just blocking it. Okay, where am I at? Making sure I got my symmetry on. I usually go and dynamesh this thing right off the bat, really low. Hey, what's up, Josh? And whoever else is here. It's pretty amazing to me that anybody shows up to these things. Right, dynamesh. I'm making the heads, I'm making the bottom jaw. I'll split it into a different part. Wow, it's a little nerve-wracking having this sculpt where you know people are watching. I can do this much faster. I had no idea it was going to be this nerve-wracking. I'll get the hang of it though. Okay, there we go. Gotta warn you though, my models tend to look really bad in the first early stages. It's probably gonna look terrible for a little bit. I'm both using a mouse and a Wacom tablet because my computer's kind of old and the Wacom is unresponsive sometimes, so I have to have that mouse ready to go to handle specific things, and I kind of got used to using both at the same time. But I can't really sculpt with a mouse. It's really difficult for me. Just imagine you guys naked. That's really not going to help at all. Ugh. I also have a bit of a cough too, so you might have to endure some of that. Now, I know this dragon is going to be made into a toy or collectible, and not articulated. It'll be a collectible for Titanic Creations. So I already know that it's going to be posed and not articulated, so I don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. But I still want to sculpt it with symmetry on, at least until I get to a certain point, and then I can pose it however I need to beyond that point. Also, if you see me, I'm trying to read your comments while sculpting, so. Hey, I'm glad you think my work is epic, but right now, what you're looking at, it certainly doesn't look epic. So we gotta, but it's okay, because this is what it looks like right before it starts getting really amazing looking. The problem I'm having with my Wacom is that I'll drag my pencil and it won't respond to the pressure. It won't respond to the stroke, but it happens like every three moves, the third one doesn't do what I want it to do, and after a while it gets extremely frustrating. I just appended a sphere to make some eyes. Mirror well that. Let's see, is symmetry on that? Keep symmetry on that. I've tried so many things. I tried switching out the pen tips. I tried readjusting all the settings. I tried updating the driver. I'm starting to think that I'm on such an old operating system on my computer. I never upgraded to the new stuff. I'm starting to think this is what's the problem. It wants me to update, and I don't want to because I'll lose programs it doesn't support anymore. I'm kind of in a bad way because my computer's ready to be upgraded, but I just haven't done that yet. It's hard to, when you get in a groove, it's really hard to change. It's an Intuos Pro, but my computer is a 2015 iMac, so it's definitely 6 years old already. I need a new beast. I typically work in Dynamesh. I keep everything really as separated as I can. I don't know if lots of other artists do it this way, but this is the way I do it. It's just a workflow I developed for myself, and I do it for specific reasons. Mostly because I know when I do rendering, I can just drop and drag materials and textures onto them in KeyShot without having to hardly do any work. And I find that to be really fast and helpful later on in the rendering process. And whatever speeds up your workflow, it's golden. Yeah, I can't imagine anybody sculpting with a mouse. Like I find after a while, it drives me crazy. I can't. I just need to like. I'm so much used to it using the pen. I'm just trying to get forms and information on the screen so that I can then contort it into body parts. So this part is just looks so silly. Ah, appreciate that. Nice game. Same here, man. In fact, I've been on ZBrush Central since like 2006, even before I had the program. Years before I had the program, I just loved seeing all the artwork that was being produced, and that's when I knew I had to get my hands on the stuff and use it for myself. And eventually, I got around to doing that, exactly that. This is also the first time I'm sculpting while wearing glasses. Let's just say it sucks getting old. So that's why I look like I got my head 3 inches from the screen. Maybe I need better glasses. Now I'm just gonna pull legs out, pull arms out, then I'm gonna build some wings, and then it's gonna start to look like a monster instead of whatever the hell this looks like, a chicken. What's up, Sumerian King? Let's see. I've been on posting. I've been posting on ZBrush for years, but I think when I posted the Tiamat that I did for Legendary, it got top row, and then I got someone reached out and asked if I wanted to stream, and I said sure. That sounds like fun. It was basically as simple as that. Yep, my first stream. I'm sick as a dog and nervous. But you know what? That'll go away, and we'll just get some really cool looking sculpts. And then when it's actually available for purchase, then you'd be like, hey, I watched this guy make that. Okay, so I split the legs. It's very funny. I watch a lot of artists stream, and they're so professional and they're so amazing. And then I feel like I'm just winging it. But I've been winging it for so long that it definitely works, and I can produce amazing looking stuff. But I don't feel like my workflows are professional or like you know, industry standard pipeline stuff, and that could be a problem if that's what's necessary. But if I can produce really cool looking stuff, then I guess it doesn't matter how I'm doing it. But unless I start working for Hollywood and they need things specific ways, then I have to learn those ways, or I don't get the gig. Dice Guy, the DopePope used to be a t-shirt company that me and a few other guys started back in 2000. And after a while, it was the early internet days, and after a while, we had logged on to all these design sites and websites and social media at the time under the name DopePope, and I was the account holder, and we signed up specifically to promote the t-shirt company, but over time the t-shirt company kind of crashed and burned, and then I was still there under the name DopePope, posting artwork, and then I just slowly became DopePope. Now my art is DopePope's art, and that's how that started. But yeah, we had some pretty cool looking t-shirts back in the year 2000, 2001 era, but we didn't know what to do with it. We had no idea how to market it, but we tried. Give it a shot. Gotta save. Gotta save. Okay. That looks terrible. We need some arms. That's when I just duplicate the legs, reposition them. Cut off that top chunk. No. How's that for feet? Hi, Sergio. Hey. They are, but I mean, look at those feet right now. They look like clown shoes. So by the time when I finally get around to the toes and stuff, when they start actually looking like reptilian feet, then they get fun. Yeah. I guess at this stage, I can't concentrate. I can't be too concerned with like how stupid something looks. I just have to do what I got to do to get it onto the page, get it onto the canvas, and then piece by piece, I will just go in and fix everything proportionally, anatomically. Right now, I'm just trying to get something here that has the information I need. Like there's digits, there's a palm, the sole rather. That'll work. When I'm ready to go in and really make that look like a claw, it's there for me. It's definitely way too big. And this thing is going to look completely different when I'm done with it. It's going to look, I want it to be more of a, like a jacked kind of super claw, super horny, spiky creature. Definitely something that's built for battle. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I also think it's, judging by the floor grid, this thing is tremendous. So I might I might just go in here, save it. Hey, transpose master is not working. That's not good. I gotta figure that out. I just installed a new ZBrush and now I'm getting weird things happening to me, and I didn't know transpose mesh doesn't work right now. Alright, there's a way around that, I guess. Sergio, I don't do 3D printing at all. I don't have a printer, but I do hand my work off to people that do, and I have seen many of my things 3D printed, and it's part of the joy of working in 3D is seeing a really awesome 3D print of something you sculpted. There's nothing else like it. It's great. Oh no. Gotta watch out what your settings are on. Wow, 30 minutes went by already. That's insane to me. That's some of the arm for the wings. Excuse me. Z-spheres I don't use. I almost never touch them. It's one of those things that one is why I love Dynamesh. I knew when Dynamesh came out, for some reason, it made me immediately stop using Z-spheres, and I was happy because I never really. Z-spheres are amazing for what they're doing, but I never could really get the hang of them, and I found like I was just getting caught up in trying to perfect Z-spheres, and I couldn't get into the sculpting. But I've seen people use them with amazing results, and I can't knock them. It's just not something that I integrated into my workflow very effectively. But yeah, there's so much in ZBrush that I don't touch or haven't used yet. I'll get there. But I mean, I don't even really, I'm not trying to pressure myself to learn every last thing in ZBrush, because there really is like 15 ways to do the same thing, and it's just whatever works for you. Oh, what's up, Zachary? It's awesome. It's great to see your name there. I'm a huge fan of your work. Everybody go follow Zachary. His work is beyond, beyond amazing. A huge inspiration for years. And I'm very glad that we got to meet finally. I'm glad you jumped onto social media, because you were kind of MIA for a long time. Are you impressed right here with this? Okay. I might want to go like super big wings with these. This game, I'm not sure. I don't think I did overwrite the plugin. Maybe I have to do that, and I just didn't do that. I don't recall doing that. I definitely didn't intentionally do it. See, arrow, that's just it. I don't rig. I do retopo towards the end when I know I'm going to be posing, and when I'm going to be adding tertiary sculptural detail. And that's when I use the Z remesher to retopo everything. But I don't rig anything. I just never learned how to do it yet. I would love to. I'm sure I can get better posing. Yeah, that's I noticed it did say 2020. I just don't recall having to do that. I mean, before I was running 2021.7.1, it was working. It was when 0.1 came out that it wasn't working. Or maybe it was 0.7 and it was working from 0.6.1. Either way, it was working up until very recently, and then the new updates kind of threw a monkey wrench in that. I'll fix it. I'll make sure it's fixed for next time. I don't currently need it. I mean, there was the backup plan that the Gizmo does it, which is, see, it's another way to do the same thing. All I was going to go in there is just resize it anyway. I wasn't going to pose. And I should save. I usually separate parts like the neck from the torso. Sometimes later on I go back and reunite them. It depends on how the detailing is working out. How do I decide proportions? It's a great question. I do look at tons of reference. I have probably 50 images open on my secondary monitor that are just for inspiration. And like I said, I knew I was going to come in here and screw around with proportions and play with shapes and ideas. because I didn't come in with like a dead set concept, which is how I work sometimes. If I was given concept art right there, I would know exactly what I'm doing. But this time around, I decided not to concept anything out ahead of time, just to kind of have fun with the exploration of the forms as I sculpt, which is like just something that I like to do to motivate me to sculpt more. And then I did that to learn ZBrush, and now I just kind of do it just because it became my workflow. But I'm not saying, you know, concept sketches ahead of time are very useful, and, you know, I'm not saying don't do them. It's just that sometimes you don't. But that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm deciding the size of the feet. I'm deciding where the arms are going to be in relation to the chest. I'm trying to figure out if the wings are too small, if they're too big. I think the neck is going to get a lot longer. I'm going to put all kinds of stuff. So I'm just playing with it. But I do look at reference. I'm always looking at reference. I mean, there's some beautiful dragon artwork out there. And if you know, I'm drawn to that kind of stuff, so I'm just looking at that for fun anyway. But a lot of that will just bleed into my psyche, and I'll remember that, whether I realize it or not, and I'll integrate some of that detailing into mine. We're all just stealing from each other over here. Oh, okay, thanks for clarifying, Deske. I'm not sure what you're asking, Abraham. Like this tail, because it's going to be a collectible, this tail probably can't stick out that far in the back, because it won't be able to be placed on a shelf. It'll just stick out too far. So I'll probably have to, you know, get that tail to wrap around towards the front. This way it can be stood up somewhere without taking up too much real estate on that shelf. And these are things you have to anticipate, at least early on, so that you don't screw yourself later when you have to make a gigantic change and you can't, because you'll destroy the model. Oh yeah, well it's part of working on monsters. Is like I'm sure people will disagree, but they don't exist. So you can get away with if the proportions are screwed up, or if they don't look right, or if there's some weird chunk of anatomy that doesn't make any sense. It's a monster. You don't really have to explain any of that stuff. Well, you know, a lot of other artists will beg to differ, but this is why I like monsters so much. You can get away with a lot more than if you were doing human figures. Human figures, there's no margin for error, especially with the superheroes and the muscles and all that. No, I'm not saying you can't have an anatomically correct dragon. You absolutely can, but it's more based on real life anatomy, and dragons don't exist, so who's to say it doesn't look like that? But I'm not trying to give myself an excuse to make a shitty piece of art. Even though that's exactly what it sounds like. Sure, absolutely. See, I come from the Japanese giant monster uh, genre where everybody's in a big rubber suit and there's really not that much of anatomy going on there. It's more of suit folds, and especially in the early years, and that had a very distinct look that defined the proportions. And I gotta say, a lot of that does come into my work, where I'd rather the man in suit look, but then try to add just enough realism so that it's like that 50-50 blend. And that's that's my preference. I'm gonna split these things off. I know I want big horns up here. I just don't know the shape of them yet. Oh. I don't know if you can hear that kid screaming, but I have a little kid who lives next door and he screams nonstop. It's awesome, let me tell you. What's that? This silhouette view? Oh. Ooh. Hey, thank you. No, this will be an original dragon design for a client that is going to make it into a collectible for purchase. Then he gave me the go-ahead to start working on it in a live stream. Being it was my first live stream, I thought it would be a cool idea to do. And if I get to do more streams, then I plan to do all kinds of stuff, like Godzilla monsters, original stuff, client work if they let me. Whatever's good. Custom Kaiju Dragon, yes. Thank you, Julian. Sometimes I imagine I would frustrate people who know how to model because of the way I do stuff. They must think I'm nuts. There's so many easier ways or better ways to do it, and there probably are. Ziva software. I'm not familiar with that. I'm not animating this guy, so I'm not really going to be spending time with muscle systems beyond like trying to have it represented correctly on the surface. And I'm not doing any blend shapes either. That does all sound like stuff for animation. What's up, Jamaica? Probably split them. No, I like to split the hands from the arms. Feet from the legs. No, it's not Charizard. It might resemble it so far, but it's still early. I was just blocking in some forms for just a dragon type creature. Goldie Games. Oh, nice. Yeah. What's up, Evan? Good to see you, man. Feeling is mutual, for sure. hey, I don't know if there's a Godzilla without thick thighs. Shin is pretty damn thick. Singular point is pretty damn thick. All the Heisei Godzillas are pretty damn thick, mostly. They don't bother me that much. When I first saw Shin Godzilla, a picture, he looked like a wine bottle that was heavy on the bottom and like a long shaft on top. He looked like an upside down drumstick from a chicken. I just didn't know what to think of it. I remember saying, "Oh my God, what are they doing?" But it grew on me. I mean, watching the movie, I love the design now. So I always try to give them a chance, even when they come out. Even the singular point one, I was like, here we go again. What are they doing? But that's why I felt compelled to sculpt it, so I could learn from it, and I love it now. I think it's amazing. So. Oh, nice. I really like the wing structure of the Ghidorah from Legendary. Let's see. It's got these crazy extra limbs. And then it's got the hand limbs over here. It's so beautiful. I really want to take some of that language into what I'm working on here. But I don't know if I want them to be that big. Let's get the wing membrane in there. And then once it's in there, I can always screw around with it. Let's see, where is it? Tri-fill, really small brush. Nope. And the curve helpers. There you go. Oops. What's up, Derek? Thank you, Billy. Just for people who don't know, I'm just doing a generic original dragon kaiju design. And I'm not really going off of any concept that I have in front of me. I'm just winging it. Get it? Working on the wings. I am just kind of seeing what happens, playing with shapes, trying to have some fun with it. I didn't want to have I didn't want to work from a sketch for this one. I don't know why. I just wanted to have fun sculpting. So, but I think once I get further into the block in, I have to start really thinking about what I want, because then I'll be at a loss and be reworking areas unnecessarily, and you know what was supposed to be fun will then become problematic, because this is a job. But I do have to show preliminaries to the client first, so you know I won't get too involved in detailing at all right away. I'll just show him the forms. I'll see what he thinks of the proportions of the wings and you know the horn shapes and the arm shapes, and if he has any feedback, well, I'll obviously take that into consideration, and then we go from there. You. The Stager. The Stager is actually one of the coolest new things they've come out with because I kind of wanted that for the past 5 years. Now that it's out, I have to start using it. I haven't. This is my first time using the new ZBrush, so I haven't looked into like actually using it yet. But man, there's a million times where I wanted exactly that Stager thing. So I'm super happy about that. But I would definitely use it only for things that I know they're not gonna be symmetrical, but they need to be symmetrical as a whole. Something that is very ornate, has a lot of detailing on it. Keep that front and center, work on it symmetrically, and then throw it onto wherever it needs to go. It's just. I mean, from what I saw, it's extremely useful, and I can't wait to get that into my workflow because that's important. I wish they would actually do it where you could have a folder with multiple subtools, and that would stay symmetrical, and then you could have that folder staged, and then you could have it placed somewhere else, and it wouldn't just be one subtool, it would be multiple subtools. And I think the idea came to me from Photoshop Smart Layers, where you could have a file that has multiple layers and all kinds of stuff in that, and then that file can be its own layer as a smart layer in Photoshop. And when you want to make changes to it, you go into the main file and do changes, and they update in right where it is in context. And I was like, ZBrush needs this. I just never figured out how to explain it to anybody, or if it was even possible. And then they just came out with this, and I was like, these guys can do anything. Oh, Carlos, what's up, bro? Let's see what we got here. The res, I got everything super low. Every piece is dynameshed, and it's the file. Every piece is dynameshed at super low. It's kind of like working in in low subdivision, but it's not a subdivision, it's Dynamesh. It's just how I prefer to do it. Little by little, I'll start upping the resolution on Dynamesh as I add more and more detail. And then at some point, I'll just go right into retopo with ZBrush. But that won't be for a while because we have to approve all the forms before once I know nothing is going to be changed, that's when I'll retopo. And right now I'm just blocking in whatever needs to be represented as a piece. That's what I'm putting in. So like every nail, eventually I'll have to do the teeth. I'll probably do the gums. All as separate items. And then start really fleshing out the forms. Because right now all I have, basically this is just a hot dog with some wings. So I just made some feet nails, claws on the feet. I just basically duplicated the foot, grabbed one toe, deleted the rest, and then smoothed it out, shaped it to be like a spike, and now I have claws. And now I'm going to auto group them, mirror and weld. That'll come in handy later. I might want, like, for this dragon, I might want kind of big hands with webbing. That's kind of like what I'm feeling for this guy. I do have reference open on my second monitor, but I'm not really even looking at any of it. It's more inspiration for the detailing later on. I do have some pictures open of like what kind of form, body shapes and proportions, but I still, like I said, I was saying earlier, I haven't fully decided that yet. I'm just doing the quick blocking to get everything I need to actually start working on that. So I'm just putting everything I need in, the nails, the teeth, the legs, the arms, the wings, and get some kind of working model. Comics legend, I'm sure there is. It sounds like something ZBrush can do. I definitely just make one nail and copy and paste it to where I need to go and individually work on each one, because usually each nail gets its own detailing and paint separate from the rest, because I think that's what really helps make it look good in rendering later. If you have the same detailing on everything it shows. I mean, it's so I try to at least. I have no problem like symmetrically sculpting, but then once the paint and detailing goes on, it has to be done so that it looks like it's not just copy and pasted. But yeah, I'm sure there's a way of doing that. Okay, let's see. Okay, I just grabbed one of the foot toenails and copied and pasted it, made it its own subtool, and now I'm going to use it as nails for the hands. Sergio, yes, you can find me on ArtStation, DopePope.artstation.com. Same thing with Instagram and Twitter. I'm DopePope. You'll recognize the Cyclops avatar. And I'm DopePope with zeros for O's on Instagram and Twitter. Oops. Okay. Thank you, Daisuke. Hooking me up. Now it's starting to look sort of kind of like a dragon, right? Sort of, almost. You definitely want those wings bigger. I kind of want that oomph that King Ghidorah gives, but it can't be that. It can't be that epic. Kind of like what I wanted to do is if Ghidorah had one head, then he would have to thicken out in other places to get those proportions to work. And maybe that's kind of like what I'm going for. But we'll get this to look like a dragon soon enough. Indeed. at some point, I might even want to have this guy hunched over a little bit and be walking on his wings, in which case I'll be resculpting the whole wing area, obviously. But I do want to show an opened winged version, so he might not want that. The client might not want me to have the wings on the ground. It's less exciting, but I think it's cooler. But the wings open are always more exciting. All right. I could add cat-like features, very subtly though. I think dragons often do have that feline appeal. One of my favorite dragons is Mythrax from, what is that? Dragons? What was that old movie? Dragon's Lair, is it? Or is that the video game? What movie am I talking about? You know what I'm talking about. What's up, Debbie Rex? And hello to everybody in the room. If I missed you by name, I really appreciate you guys coming out. Dragon Slayer, yes. That's it. A great movie. I definitely just aged myself. But still, if the gray beard doesn't tell you that already, I don't know what does. For Mythrax, yeah. Very cool. It was all, you know, before CG, one of the coolest looking dragons ever. I'm not knocking CG, obviously, but still. I think reptiles were probably one of the first things that CG got right, but it never seemed to get any of the mammals correct. Without people knowing that it's fake, especially werewolves. I still haven't gotten a CG werewolf that doesn't look like a CG werewolf. But dragons and reptiles and dinosaurs, holy shit. And even the apes, they got the apes going down now. If they can do an ape, then how come they can't do a canine? Good night, Abraham. Wow, I thought because I was sick, I wouldn't make it this far. But I guess ZBrush heals. It heals as you work. I actually feel better, and I think I'll make it to the end of the stream, which is another half hour. I just think werewolves have been done really well in movies, but not by CG. Not yet, anyway. Usually the prosthetic werewolf is the best werewolf. They'll get it at some point. It does. ZBrush has been, since I started sculpting and talking to you guys, I feel a lot better. I was actually really feeling like crap before I streamed. I was like an inch from canceling, but I'm glad I did it, and now I feel better. I don't think I am better, but I feel better. But I definitely gotta take care of myself. Hey. Add some clay back here. Kind of like those shapes that brush just dropped in there. It's pretty cool looking. Hey, that's not what I wanted. What's up, TL? Dynamesh. I very rarely use Sculptures Pro. It's a very cool feature, but I just haven't really, much like Z-Spheres, I haven't integrated it into my workflow. I haven't found where it really, really changes things for me. And until I do, I probably won't bother with it. But it is definitely a cool feature. And I definitely used it for some very specific things. And I am making an original dragon. Just making it up as I go. Oh. Hey, it's a movie from 1982, man. You don't even know what you're talking about. Watch the movie. It doesn't look crappy. Do you think the movie looks crappy or the dragon looks crappy? I think I want this dragon to have teeth that you can see from the outside. I'm feeling out for this guy. How dare you, sir? That's how I feel. So that's teeth. I just duplicated one a bunch of times. You gotta do auto groups so that you can reposition them with no grief, and then you mirror and weld it. And then you just gotta go and do the front teeth. Thank you, Mythrax. Did I pronounce that correctly? It's nice of you to say. Thanks. I might want it to have fangs, like gamma fangs. Well, in which case, these guys would be really big. Let's stick out. Hey. Little by little, I'll just be whacking at every part of the body now. I mean, there's really nothing here but bare bones, hot dog meat. It's just, I gotta start building the fingers, the toes, the musculature, the legs, arms, the chest, and the whole wing area. I mean, there's just really nothing here except the skeleton. A meat skeleton. I bent the tongue with just the regular move brush. It wasn't anything special, but if it's big enough, you can do hey. I don't know what's going on there. If it's big enough, you can do like bends like that. But if it's small, then you can go like that. So basically that's all I did. I didn't do anything fancy with it. So now I'm starting to add more resolution to the Dynamesh, because now I'm going to start building on the forms, the secondary forms, to make everything kind of look more organic and less hot dog meat. So, but not too much. It's just double. I mean, it was set to 16. Now it's at 32. I guess because it's so big. There's the floor grid, so that's how big this thing is. It's probably like 15 inches high. Thank you, Baka, Yaru. Sorry, I screwed that up. It's getting there. It's gonna look pretty cool. I think I have about 5 minutes left of the stream. Definitely needs a lot of work. Baka, this is my first stream ever. I'm told I'm going to be streaming twice a month in this time slot. So it's next time I'll be on is not next Friday, but the Friday after that. And when I feel better, when I feel more comfortable doing more streams and they let me do more streams, then I will do more streams. Hopefully. This is when I start screwing around with materials just to see what it looks like. Just having fun with it. This is the best part of the ZBrush. Just dropping new mats on stuff. This one is one of my favorites. It's just so great. Alright guys, my time is up. Check back in 2 weeks and check me out on ArtStation and Instagram. DopePope with the Cyclops character. Alright, take care.